even his core fan base, the people that would support him most, are all turning on him because they're starting to realize the stuff's been pointed out.
Dude, that clip, I'm sure you remember in my video, of him saying that his exes were just trying to profit off of accusing him of rape. But I mean, yeah, I was. That was around the pick a side. I made a video on the pick a side stuff.
You got like 16 or something in it. What the fuck's that about?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, he's going after kids. now that, but I think this is getting big enough where I think Critical might cover this.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going good. Good to talk to you. Man, it's such a relief to get this video out.
Yes, well done. Congratulations. How you feeling?
Thank you, thank you. No, it feels really good. You know, people being supportive and stuff. It's good to see like hype around the community. You know what I mean? I feel like well, you're not really that keyed in on the commentary community, but I feel like it's been kind of needing something like this. It's been needing like a big like downfall like this to kind of like bring some energy back in. I mean, Nick's coming back. I mean, people are like lively, active. It feels good, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally agree. And I think that there's a lot of like motivation because I think that it's obviously with the content, it tends to be just content, right? Like, for example, I watched your call with, what was it, Jalen a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
The trans fiasco disaster drama or whatever the fuck it was. And
Jesus.
that was just pure content, right? Yeah, there was a little moment where you were like, you need to leave this person, but it was all about the content, and that was kind of it, really, right? And I'm very cynical. But yeah, I feel like this is like someone who's genuinely doing a bad thing, and they're getting rightly criticized for it, and pressure is being put on them to kind of act and do something one way or another. And I think that's good, and I think that's the kind of commentary community kind of at its best, I would say, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's blatant. It's the most surprising thing to me. I don't. Granted, I'm not gonna have like a ton of like new information, obviously. So it's not like we're gonna have like big debate or disagreements here. But it's just so absurd, the Magnetar stuff. How he doubles down and like to this day just smearing him completely. And you know, when I saw like those emails of people like finding his new work and now trying to contact his coworkers, texting them that he's a pedophile, like I couldn't imagine that happening to me in real life. I would lose my mind, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for me, as much as I think it's very bad to lie and solicit money from your audience for, you know, the purposes of promoting yourself when you're not really doing anything, that's fucked up. But there's lots of grifters, right? There's loads of grifters on the internet. But that really crosses a line for me when you're putting harm on someone else's life through your actions then. And when it's to obfuscate from, you know, I know we maybe don't see eye to eye on this exactly, but what I see is quite credible allegations against him. You know, and that's the sole purpose of doing it. That's kind of beyond the pale for me, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw briefly your point on how I didn't mention enough about the allegations. I just wanted to keep it brief, where it's like, you know what, I can't verify. It's his word versus their word. I can't really say much either way about it. Which I personally think is the right approach. I feel like it would get bogged down if I tried to turn this into more of a character assassination thing. Like, no, granted, I do know that he did admit to a lot of stuff, but I've just felt like sticking to more of just straight facts of how he's irresponsibly running his platform is more, more credible.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, I think it would have just made it that then you've got to dig into that and talk about that to do a good job with it. And then it becomes a longer and longer video. And then it leaves more holes for him to pick apart potentially. Whereas
that's the main point. I don't want to give him any room to like squirm or like ammunition to fire back on easily. You know what I mean? Because I don't know necessarily the whole story. Maybe he could poke holes on it that doesn't have yet. But with like, I guess this video, I can't really imagine any holes that he could like poke through. I mean, this is pretty blatant with everything, you know? Like, he did say, I'm sure you saw he's making a response to try to get ahead of, the Nick video of apparently the admission and that call, which is going to be really interesting to see. But what the fuck is he going to say to this, you know?
Well, I think that what he'll probably do is he'll point to the times where he said, you know, I blend fact and fiction. It's not always real. But then the problem is, well, he can probably just ignore it his own side, but there are moments where he backs up the idea that it is real, like you pointed out with the Casey person, right? So, and apparently, from what I understand, there's some other clip where he's been talking about Casey not being real as well. I don't know if maybe you didn't see that. I've never seen it. But, you know, even his comment that, oh, she's okay now, even that is potentially still rooted in complete bullshit too. So
There's a clip of him saying Casey was never real. That's
this is,
insane.
well, I've heard that. I've not seen it, you know, and I've never seen it
Yeah, I haven't
produced.
seen that, and I've been through I've been through the fucking
Yeah.
ringer, going through the archives with this fucking guy. That superhero video, Jesus, I found that
Yeah,
on fucking
yeah.
Internet Archive. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit, it's all coming together. You know what I mean? He made a video saying he wants to be a superhero, and now this is what he wanted to be all along. You know, he found this false sense of it's like superiority, that he's now a representative for CSA victims to bring justice to them in their lives. Um, but it's all a grift.
Yeah, and you know, sorry, go on. What are you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna bring up next, eventually on his community post too. Dude, he has 380 comments and 260 likes. Like this guy is hated. He's hated. Where are his
Yeah.
fans? You know?
Yeah, I think a lot of the fans have turned against him. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, YouTube people could be really annoying in the way they comment and stuff. But the thing is, I think for him is that even his core fan base, the people that would support him most, are all turning on him because they're starting to realize the stuff has been pointed out, that there are a lot of problems and there are a lot of inconsistencies, and he doesn't really have a record of doing anything. It's just him saying he has.
Yeah. There's
So
nothing.
I think you sort of you alluded to it in the video, but this kind of like respect that he's garnered from doing what he's done. Obviously,
Yeah.
Mutahar, I think, has really recognized how mistaken he was to ever back this guy, and is seemingly going kind of against it. I guess my question would be, not even with Mutahar necessarily, but say like Nexpo, right? So Nexpo, I think, has not spoken publicly about it, and apparently has backed him big time in the past.
You want to know something weird? In the middle, like a few days ago, Nexpo followed me out of the blue on Twitter. And I'm like, what? That's pretty weird. Like I'm going after one of his like best friends, or at least good friends. You know what I mean? Why the fuck would he follow me? Because this is shortly after I released the tweet of him threatening to strike my channel. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? So then, just for the sake of the video, because I know he's been in multiple videos, Nexpo was in that Pick a Side YouTube video. He's promoted Max in the past. They've done multiple collabs. So I just reached out to him for the video, asking if he has like any statement or any knowledge that Max has actually caught any of the pedophiles he's got or locked them up, or if he could speak to his credibility at all. He didn't get back to me, but I found it weird, like following me out of the blue after like I'm shitting on his friend. So I don't know what's going on there, but no, keep going.
Well, just to speak to that, I think really between the lines, because I spoke to obviously Mutar the other day, and he was saying that behind the scenes, there's people that don't want to like respond and just want to move on. So my guess is that, I mean, obviously, you know, this is me reading deep into it, right? But my guess is that he is recognizing that this guy isn't what he said he was going to be. So he's wanting to follow people like you so we can keep you up to date with it. But obviously doesn't want to speak on it because he doesn't want to be seen to be talking about it. He kind of, I think, wants to wash his hands of it discreetly and just move on, right? So I think that's probably what that is. But like, I guess my question for you is, how do you think that so many big, credible YouTubers bought into this guy's shtick for so long without realizing the truth behind it?
Dude, I don't really. I mean, I think Mutahar overall is pretty credible, and he's like a good guy. But that conversation was pretty, that I saw with you and him, that was pretty rough. I mean, just like, kind of like backing his content for years. I even watched videos of him talking about the allegations, and he's giving credit to MamaMax, saying like, yeah, this is like a prestigious YouTuber who catches pedophiles. So like this guy has had a really good reputation off the backs of 3 million subscriber YouTubers like Mutahar that are pretty much accepted and respected by everyone. And then Mutahar just like kind of flat out saying, yeah, I didn't even really watch his videos and even checked up on what he's doing is real. He just like took his word for it. And I could empathize with him, and I'm sure you can too. It's like, you meet this guy at VidCon, he seems like a good friend. He's telling you behind the scenes that he's actually getting real world consequences to the people he's catching. Like, I can understand it, but that doesn't take away from any culpability he has for bigging him up and giving him his reputation by supporting him throughout like the years, So I think definitely a statement, and he's doing the best he can by making that video, kind of disavowing him.
Yeah, no, I more or less agree. The thing is, what I can empathize with, and the thing is with Mutar now, there were a bunch of retarded comments on the video of me speaking to him, and it's like I was pressing him because I felt it was right to press him. I felt that was the right thing to do. But like, I understand and I agree that he's doing the right thing now. So I don't have any kind of ill will towards him. I could understand like a friend like looking the other way and not really engaging with it. Do you know what I mean? I think the responsibility comes, as you're highlighting, right? He's got a big channel and he's kind of backing this guy up. And the thing is, it's not just Mutahar. It's this Nexpo guy. There's a Night Docs guy that I'm not familiar with. Apparently, there's other people as well that have done it along the way. And you just kind of think like, you know, Mutahar's doing the right thing. Do you not want to do the right thing? You've got no desire to come out and go, yeah, I was kind of retarded to back this guy. I know it's hard to admit when you're wrong, but
I do think like Nexpo is ought to make a statement. I think that's kind of a necessary like requirement, or else that should be held against him. Because I mean, Nexpo, he was a retard in that pick a side video. He was just like flat out retarded. I don't know if you saw the clips, but he was blaming YouTube and doing the same gig that Max was, accusing YouTube of being pro-pedophile because Max got his video taken down because he included some black guy's ass in his video. And somehow you're equating that to YouTube being pro-pedophile. Dude, you included some dude's asshole in your video and it got struck down for nudity. This is 1-to-1. And Nexpo was saying that, like, in that same video, defending Max, saying that you know, YouTube is to blame for this, and they're allegedly supporting pedophiles by taking down this video. Like, you're retarded. So he already has backed up Max on not only his videos and his credibility, but also defending his points, and has made videos defending his points. So he's 100%, I think, like, people should give him the public, you know, scrutiny and pressure to make a statement. You know?
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, I would also differentiate. I'm sure there's people that have been friends or friendly with MamaMax that haven't really spoken on his content, and you know, like, you could be friends with people who turn out to be retards. That's fine. I think it's the use of your platform to boost and lend credibility.
That's
I
the
think
thing.
that's the issue,
Yeah.
right?
Because I'm sure, like, I mean, think about how many subscribers MamaMax got off the back of other people supporting his content and other people promoting him as like being a prestigious creator, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But Mutahar is having the best response. I know, like, Mutahar, I know Queeman fucking hates Mutahar. I see on my timeline, he fucking shits on him day by day. It's hilarious, but it's like, I mean, the guy's kind of doing everything he can. He made a fucking mistake, but he's making an exposed video on the guy. So, I mean, he's doing everything he can at this point, though. But it is funny.
The thing is, I think Crew recognizes that, and he just wants to. He's a pure hater, right? And he just wants to dish out the hate. But I think, you know, in fact, Creeman's own chat. I mean, what do you think of this idea that, like, Mutahar should offer some sort of financial recompense towards Magnetar to pay for a lawsuit for defamation? What do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't want to push it I don't want to push it like maybe that far. I mean, maybe necessarily that'd be a good act of charity. I would have to see the clip again of Mutahar specifically, like what he said about Magnetar. Because granted, I didn't really look at too much Mutahar's culpability here. I was more focused on Max. But did Mutahar outright call Magnetar a pedophile?
I think, oh God, it's funny. I watched the clip the other day. I mean, he when he first was challenged on it, I think he kind of acted like he was just saying, "Oh, isn't it ironic that he was a pedophile?" I came away from that video with the impression that Mutahar called him a pedophile. I mean, to be honest with you, I guess I'm probably somewhere in the middle, right? I think that it would be a good to do, right? It'd be great if he could do that, but I don't think there's like an obligation for him to do that. That's a lot to ask, that you would fund someone's defamation suit.
And you know, I'm kind of more leaning on the side that, like, Mutahar. So if Mutahar did frame it as in, and he didn't even contest MamaMax when he called this guy Magnetar a
there was
pedophile.
no contesting or anything. No.
And if he's actively talking about on his platform and he's not contesting it, I think that's a big point against Mutahar. Because imagine, like, I don't know, any other like associates I have in the community, like fucking Nick Diorio makes a video doing the same thing, calling someone a pedophile with no basis, just like how MamaMax did. If I would talk about that publicly and not have any contention with that, I think that would be a big critique of me. And I would have, if I saw like Nick do that, a huge critique of Nick there, and immediately ask, hold on, dude, who the fuck are you calling a pedophile? And especially because MamaMax is the pedophile guy. This is supposed to be his job, is to call people pedophiles and get the stories right. So if anyone, this would be the guy you check about this, to make sure he has the facts.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you know, the thing is for me is it's tricky now because you know in the call obviously I was kind of ready to challenge him with her on the stuff, and he just admitted fault for pretty much everything. You know, on talking about it, and it's like you say, it's kind of he's done what you would expect someone to do, and the kind of damage has already been done. And I don't even know if Magnetar wants to file a lawsuit necessarily, but for me, it would be a nice to do if that would be a nice gesture at least to say, hey, I've got the ability to do so. You know, if you want to proceed, I'll help you out with it. Um,
Dude, you know what's the craziest
yeah,
part? I didn't mention this in my video just because it would be kind of AIDS optics. I didn't think it would be worth it. But even if what MamaMax is alleging Magnetar is guilty of, even what he's alleging he's a pedophile for, at worst, Magnetar would have been a what, an 18-year-old flirting with a 15-year-old or a 19-year-old flirting sexually with a 16-year-old. It's like, give me a break. Yeah, like call that creepy if you want. You know what I mean? Call
yeah.
that weird, but you're calling him a pedophile while showing pictures of his face and leaking where he fucking works and saying his full name to your audience that you know your audience is unhinged and gonna reach out to the guy. Like that's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
And the other thing as well is it's so transparent that he's only doing that because he's getting accused of things and he wants to obfuscate and squirm away from that by attacking the other side. Um, you know, I mean, that's his whole thing is he called them abusers and then he goes, you know, and the people didn't seem to recognize that that was what was going on when it's so obvious that's what he's doing. There's no reason to call him a pedophile except on flimsy evidence to attack the other side that's coming for you.
Dude, that clip, I'm sure you remember in my video of him saying that his exes were just trying to profit off of accusing him of rape. That clip is
Yes.
so insane.
Yeah,
So when
yeah.
5 girls come out against with allegations against you, they're now just clout whores that are accusing you baselessly for no reason and doing it for attention. But any other person that that you're covering and that you want to defend, they're like survivors. They're not clout whores. They're not like false accusers. They're survivors and they should be heard and they should be listened to. But when you get allegations against you by 5 other women, now they're like dumb bitches who don't know what the fuck they're talking about and just doing this for clout. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I guess you know we've talked about this. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is because obviously you've watched a lot of his content, and I think we came to a lot of the same conclusions. Like just to kind of clarify, like, how much of his work do you actually think, or what substantive things do you think you can point to that you think is actually real in his work?
Substantive things that I think is real. So going through his whole public catalog, Cartoon Incorporated, I think is completely bullshit. So I think it's like exactly what he says, that the narratives are fiction in his videos, but the pursuits and the predators potentially are real. So I think that Wayne guy that he finds in that this is what happened to a child predator on TikTok, I think that could be real. I
Yeah,
would hedge my bets on that. Pablo Sonny, I guess I would hedge my bets on that. Fine, I'll give him that. But also like something I noted as I was like publishing the video, so I couldn't put this in the video, but he not only blamed the death of this Casey girl on the creator of the game, but in the
mm,
beginning of the video, he also says he blames that girl on Pablo Sonny, and he
yeah,
accuses Pablo Sonny of grooming her. I didn't catch that at first. I only caught that after my video was already done. So I was like, fuck, I can't include this. But he's now falsely, he like potentially made up this Casey girl and then used this made up fucking accusation to pin on Pablo Sonny to make him seem more guilty.
well,
This guy is unhinged.
yeah. That's the other aspect as well because I think there was a bit of uncertainty about that. But no, I think in one point in the video because he links it by saying that this Casey person's only friend was Pablo Sonny, right, or something like that. I think.
Dude, he blatantly says that she was groomed.
Right.
She was groomed by this predator,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
Pablo Sonny. But okay, but what do I think it's real? Pablo Sonny, Wayne, and maybe some of the random people we don't even know the names of on like Kids Chat and My Lol that he talked to briefly but didn't give any information about. So I think it's fair to say he probably found a couple pedos, but who the fuck can't find pedos? That's not an impressive feat. You know what I mean? Go on Club Penguin and say that you're a 13-year-old girl who wants to get fucked. I mean, you could find pedos easily online.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be praised about that. Um, but I think everything else genuinely in the Cartoon Incorporated video, fake. Kids Chat, fake. My Lol, fake. Puppy Stomp, I'm not sure about that. I'm VU, fake. He said the narratives were all fiction.
Yeah. But
He
then at the
fudged, and
time,
all
people
of his
believe it.
older videos, exactly, and he profited off of it and shilled his Patreon based on the fact that it was real. And then
Yeah,
you
no,
take a
yeah.
look into the investigations, and the investigations even seem spotty. So you can't even trust the investigations on how he finds these pedophiles because he lies about it. He lies about Casey, and then he lies about the case with Pablo Sonny, with him like getting locked up. And that's just his public videos, dude. His public videos have that many holes in him. If you go into his unlisted videos, I think all of those are bullshit. 100%.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing as well, is this blending of fact and fiction. But then, you know, he wants all of the credibility for doing all of it, right? And he wants to be seen. And I think it's most clear in that thing
Presents
that
it
you
as
put.
real.
Yeah, and it's most clear in the thing where he does the, you know, he's talking about sex trafficking, how bad it is, and how you can help, right?
Yeah.
And it's directed all to his Patreon after all of the facts and figures about how bad trafficking is.
Dude, he's cleaning up the fucking streets. He's gonna stop child fucking sex trafficking. The Mama fucking Max. Do you know what he is, dude? He's just a filmmaker.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking filmmaker who wanted to make some fake ARG aesthetic videos for YouTube. He got too deep into the cycle where he couldn't go back because he now started profiting from it. So he just kept digging his hole, and faking these videos, never thinking anything bad would come from it. Because he saw the dollar signs, he saw that he can make films as his passion, and he just kept going. And now he's in too deep, and he's a complete fraud. Now people are now finding out.
Yeah. Also, another thing as well. I don't know if you ever saw this aspect of it, but there was this the video that he did about the child sex trafficking. Did you manage to see the like unedited, uncensored version of that and the criticisms?
Yeah.
Where there's a condom and the boot steps on it, and it's like an adult actress but simulating raping a child sex trafficking victim, and apparently that's
Yep.
going to help victims out. And this person said to them, they're called a mushroom, was saying like, no, this is wrong.
Wonderful.
This is actually not
But how
evidence
do
to
I
help
make
survivors.
money?
And he
And
was
then
arguing
showed
the
him
toss.
literal studies. He
Yes.
I watched that whole stream.
Oh, damn.
He said in that stream that, I don't really care unless you guys show me facts. And then if you guys show me statistical evidence that showing this this depiction of child sex is not helpful to supporting the cause, then I'll stop doing it. Then a mushroom sends him actual studies proving that exact thing. He doesn't give a fuck because all he gives a fuck is about his films, and he
Yeah.
just keeps going. He's a fraud, like, to the bone. He doesn't hold any of these morals that he pretends he has. Like those videos of him saying, like, yeah, you know what? I'm sticking up for my cause. These are my inspirations in the background. Fucking Martin Luther King Jr. Give me a break, dude. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
funniest shit in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
They keep me on my mission. Fuck off.
Okay, and maybe. Well, in fact, I think someone might have asked a question. Chat, start asking questions as long as you got time. Maybe chat can get some questions in too. But the final thing that I was interested to understand from you is two things. Like, what do you think? It's like two-part. Like, what do you think will happen, and what do you think should happen to MamaMax, or what should he do next?
What should he do next? He should quit, but optically, like, the best for him, or like, I guess, the like cringe to take accountability or whatever, make a video saying, hey, I was completely in over my head. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I got in too deep. I started seeing dollar signs, and I started playing into the act. And I just, at the end of the day, I'm a filmmaker at heart. That's all really my passion is. And this is the way I expressed it, but I ended up, pawning off these morals that I don't actually like uphold or really get anything done. And I'm actually hurting potential cases that I'm taking on and allowing predators get away. Ensuring 100% guarantee, in fact. And he's got to drop this fucking Camden case by all means.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so so that's what you think he should do. What do you think his next move will be? What will he do in his response and whatnot?
Fuck, I hope he makes a whole video saying, actually, Lerix is a pedophile, and this is why. Could you fucking imagine that new arc? That would be amazing. I hope he goes fucking unhinged, calls people pedophiles, and said, this is all wrong. They're slandering my fucking name. But what realistically, fuck, man. What could he? This is what I've been like thinking. I think I talked to someone else about this just a few hours ago. What could he do? Like just like brainstorm with me real quick. What could he possibly do? You know, people have substantive proof of that he's lying. Is he going to admit to it? How could he not? I mean, Nick's dropping that call that I've only seen a couple clips of behind the scenes, but apparently it's going to have fucking huge nukes.
Yeah, yeah.
Of him admitting.
Which is kind of crazy to me because I would have thought he'd know the call was going to get broadcast in some capacity somehow. And he's just willingly admitting crazy things from what I understand. Yeah, so...
And he's also putting out tweets. It's still you saw that tweet, right? Saying, "What the fuck is this guy doing? He's so desperate. He's like, DM me if you're a victim of fucking Camden Gerard Davis. This guy has 300 followers on Twitter. What the fuck? Who the fuck do you think is gonna DM you and find this tweet, dude?"
Well, I can imagine what he'll probably do is look at all the people shitting on him and be like, "Ha, that's the response that I wanted. I wanted more attention, and you gave it to me. Well done." Right? That's probably the kind of vibe he's going to
That's what he's done in the past. That was his whole... I don't know if you were around for this, but I was in and out of the community when this happened, but the pick a side thing, I was there for. And his whole... He thought he was like the fucking big brain genius there. Like, ha, you fell into my fucking trap. I wanted you to do this all along. Give me a break, man.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this time he can't just pawn it off, though, because now there's substantive proof showing he's lying, and he's faking the things that he's doing.
I think the other problem as well is, and this is why, and I do want to ask him about Tommy C. Think about it, which we'll get to in a sec. But like, because there's so many people coming out against him, like, what's he going to do? He's going to call, you know, I mean, I've kind of done more live stuff, but like, you know, he's going to call me a pedophile, you a pedophile, Nicholas a pedophile, Mutahar a pedophile. Like, even if he tries to destroy the credibility of one person, right, there's other people that are also criticizing him. So it's the kind of ape strong together thing where I think because so many people are coming out, there's nothing he can possibly do to discredit everyone. So some of the criticism is going to stick no matter what, right?
Dude, what the fuck's Spencer thinking right now? What do you think's going through Spencer's mind? Because you know she's seen this. She's 100% seen, like, at least Mutahar making statements. Yeah. She's going to see Mutahar's video. God, fuck,
well,
dude,
I don't know if you saw that Spencer ended up going on a communist trans YouTuber's channel called Red Pagan. Don't know if you spotted that at all.
Communist trans, right up my alley. You know me well.
Anyway, it's funny because there's now a little tiny beef between me and that person. They were in my chat earlier calling me a fascist.
No fucking way, dude. You got to get them on stream.
I tried. I said, come on and we'll talk. But they didn't want to come on. They said I was trans.
Wait, is this the trans Nick DiOrio people are saying? Is that what people are... I've heard that.
Oh, people say...
This person?
I don't know what they're on about. That
this is very trans Nick DiOrio.
Nicholas DiOrio is a man and this is a woman. Right? So I don't know why people would say that. That's insane. But yeah, do you know
what I hope for? Like, in a realistic timeline where this isn't too far-fetched, I really hope MamaMax makes like a whole like video once Nick drops his video and Mutahar. I don't think this is going to happen, but it's a more realistic thing that I hope happens, is that Max makes a whole video trying to expose us, digging up the worst clips of all of us. Nick, me, Mutahar, and tries to frame us out to be you in the worst light possible, all of his detractors, to try to frame us as being the frauds. I hope that happens so bad, dude. Then it's just war.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you as well, you know, Queenman as well, I think, has also been, you know, very, very on this story. And the problem there is that Queenman is, you know, Mr. Girl fan. So I think he's got some spicy moments out there, you know?
I saw some people saying, why didn't I cover the Tommy C thing? Because I covered the section, if you criticize him, he calls you a pedophile or implies it. And the reason I didn't want to cover the Tommy C thing specifically is because then I would have to defend Mr. Girl and Vito in the video, and I feel like that would be retarded optics. Where I do personally hold the opinion. I don't think like necessarily. I don't know if I would call Mr. Girl a pedophile or Vito a pedophile, but I'm not gonna get into the weeds on that conversation on my video about MamaMax because that's just gonna bog it down. And to the average viewer, they're gonna be like, "Hold on, Mr. Girl said he finds fucking 13-year-olds hot and cuties. This guy's a pedophile." So it's not even worth getting into the weeds on that conversation. So
sure, yeah, it is tricky, isn't it? I mean, the thing is, I think I disagree with that mentality, but I agree with you doing it for the video. I totally understand why you take that approach because you want it to be as watertight as possible. But yeah, I mean, I guess the problem there is it's just it feels so wrong that Tommy C got hauled over the coals so hard and got shat on so hard when he pointed out stuff that, you know, we all now are witnessing. And I never really defended MamaMax. And in fact, I think you were critical of MamaMax before, right? You were in one of his videos as a critic, correct?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. That was more of a shitty video that I made, just like a more daily commentator one. But I mean, yeah, I was. That was around the pick a side. I made a video on the pick a side stuff.
You look like 16 or something in it. What the fuck's that about?
Yeah, yeah, dude, he's going after kids. Now that the script's flipped on him.
But
MamaMax went after me when I was a child.
But yeah, I mean, it's tricky, you know, and I get that, and I think other people are maybe gonna bring it up. I've obviously tried to, you know, make a big noise about it as best I can, but it's just so crazy that, like, although yes, it was probably a mistake to bring on a controversial figure like Vito and whatnot. I get that, but the reality is everything he said was correct. MamaMax is like a charlatan, and he is, you know, relying. Like, I think one of the big things he pointed out, which even I was resistant to till recently, was it is kind of like, you know, it's almost like he's going to people and the implication is underneath that he's going to call them a pedo if they don't react. But he doesn't say it explicitly, but it's underlying, isn't it? Right? Like, if you don't fucking do this, you don't really care about kids. And
that's the whole thing to do with Critical.
Yeah.
That was the whole bait strategy. That was literally the whole strategy. Critical, if you don't cover this story, then you must not care about kids getting raped in fucking, you know, Africa. But, like, that was one of the thumbnails of Tommy C a year ago. I mean, he was right on the fucking money. I'm looking at it right now. He put up a picture of MamaMax and said, using child victims for views. I mean, fuck, dude. That's now that we're seeing, like, in current year, that's right on the money. Absolutely.
Okay, so I've got a few questions from chat then, if you got time for that, yeah?
No, for sure.
So, this one here. When is Lerix's next hentai review?
Yo, me and MamaMax are fucking collabing next. That's the new arc, okay? Me and MamaMax are collabing next time to fucking check out all of them.
Listen, mate, look, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to a little bit, okay? But I've only heard from my associates about this, right? Can you just explain what is the origin of the term lolicon Lerix?
No, it's just I used to like a lot of like anime photo. I used to be big into anime and like a lot of pictures on Twitter. And some of them were girls, but it's like none of them were like sexual or anything like nude or anything. It's nothing like that. But it was just like a meme. I disavow though. I disavow. It was cringe more than anything. But I mean, it's a funny fucking tagline. It sticks. It sticks.
Yes, it kind of rolls off the tongue. I think the trouble is that, you know, I'm an older guy. I've never really got into it. But some of those anime and hentai ones, they're kind of age questionable, aren't they? You know, it's a bit like, not to have a go at you about it necessarily, but you can get into trouble liking a picture and then all of a sudden someone's calling you a pedo because they're in a school uniform. You know, it's like, what the fuck? So probably best off avoiding it, I'd say. Okay, right. What other questions have we got? So someone asked, I think you've kind of answered this already. But what was your take on Mutar taking the L the other day?
I mean, it's all he can do. You know, it's all he can do. I did think it was kind of unbelievable self-admission that he didn't even like watch the videos or kind of double check. But I mean, you have like a guy you consider a friend is like lying to you straight up that he's getting people arrested. I can empathize with like his perspective, but it doesn't take away from the critiques when you publicly promote him on your platform. I mean, that's still very much criticizable, but he's going about it the right way. I mean, he's making a whole exposed video, so he's doing everything he can now, at least.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of fatphobic comments about Spencer, such as, how do you think Spencer fit through Blackula's window? So I think that's probably inappropriate to ask. So I don't like those questions. Okay, what else have we got?
Dude, he's gonna get us. Remember the DM he sent me? We're going after fucking child sex victims. This is where he's gonna get us, Chud. We gotta tread carefully here.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing for me is, you know, because I think he said, well, in fact, you might not know about this actually, but that red pagan communist made a little video and kind of called me out as transphobic and stuff. MamaMax responded and said, we're documenting these people. Let's do an interview soon. So I'm wondering if the kind of clip thing you mentioned maybe is going to come to pass because it seems like he's documenting everything.
Yeah, and you know, he's saying like he's going to be addressing everything soon. What the fuck is soon of this guy? I mean, he said like in a live stream 2 months ago that in a week he's making a full comprehensive timeline of Camden. I mean, like, I don't know. When is he going to drop this, if he's going to drop it at all? I wouldn't get your hopes up like too high if he even makes a statement.
Yeah, okay, sure. I was going to. Sorry, I had something else in mind. Guys, go on. Ask questions. I might have missed some. We've got skipped ahead or something. Yeah. I did have something I wanted to say, but it's literally slipped off my brain. When are we going to hear from Camden? Do you think Camden's ever going to respond to this?
Oh, do you want to hear? Here, I could, I guess, say something. Okay, I thought there wasn't anything else to say, but this is actually pretty interesting. So, I reached out to Camden on Instagram. I sent him a DM asking for a statement. So I DM'd him something on the lines of, "Hey, dude, I'm just a random guy, but I'm hearing that this guy called MamaMax on YouTube is fucking like calling you a pedophile, and I was just wondering on if there's any truth to this statement, if you wanted to make any like claims against this, because he doesn't seem like he's the most credible source." I was really trying to get him. I was trying to act like I was Camden's side, because I'm trying to. That's my mission, to vindicate Camden. Max is gonna fucking clip that, but. No, I mean, I reached out to apparently what his Instagram is from at least what Max showed, but didn't get a statement from him. I mean, he's got like 12 fucking followers.
Right,
so
okay, that's interesting. Okay, I'm just scrolling through. Okay, that what? Is Mutahar reaching out to Nexpo and the other collabs for Mutahar's vid? I think I can answer that. I don't believe so. Mutahar seems to suggest that behind the scenes, people are not looking to move on. He didn't mention any names, but yeah. Sorry, go on. What are you going to say?
Do you know what would be the biggest nuke of all time? Just random Camden co-star appearance. Camden just comes into the scene and gives his account of the story. Could you fucking imagine?
Oh my god.
He starts to get in the rain. Fuck, that would be so good.
I've been expecting this drama to die off for, because, drama cycles last a certain amount of time, but this has kept going. And, yeah, that's something like that happening would be a game changer. We'd have another week of content, probably.
Yeah, imagine he makes like an Instagram live video just being like, dude, I don't know who this MamaMax guy is, but he's just falsely accusing me of everything. I didn't do any of this. Could you imagine? That would be so good.
Okay, so someone here saying, what about Colton saying the cult is real and Spencer is culpable in the grooming?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people like emailing me or like DMing me to cover my video. That's like Spencer apparently has had a lot of contradictions in her story. Now, just for like optic reasons, I'm not going to go after like Spencer for my MamaMax video, so I wasn't even going to cover that part. But I mean, apparently the allegation is that she was one of the top dogs in this like mafia cult thing. And she was actually one of the ones who helped Camden lure other girls to convince them that they're other vampires to get them into the cult. I mean, she's definitely not as culpable, I guess, as Camden. But I mean, if that's true, you played a fucking part in this. Sure, you could say you're manipulated, but if you played a part in like luring some girls into a cult where they eventually got raped, hey man, that like there's something there to like blame you for.
Okay, I feel like we've kind of covered this already, but do you believe that MamaMax actually sexted a pedophile?
MamaMax sexted a pedophile?
As part of his investigation.
Wait, I haven't heard of that.
Like, for example, he sent a picture of his ass in the IVU.
And his ass. I mean, yeah, I think so. Probably. I don't know,
though. Why do you think he went after a pedo without that much evidence when finding real pedos online is so easy?
He's talking about Magnetar? Or
No. I think that the point they're making is, why go after Camden Gerard Davis, a real person accused of real crimes, when he can just go on the internet and find random pedophiles to expose? Well,
because it sounds like it's a personal case to him. I mean, Spencer is like a friend of the family, isn't it? Like, she's friends with his sister, and then she came to him with her story, apparently like 7 years later after it happened. It's a pretty bizarre story, but it sounds like this is a personal case, and what I personally think is the first time he's actually ever dealing with any real victims, which means he's actually dealing with real consequences also.
Right.
Well, he was always dealing with real consequences with potentially having Pablo Sonny get away and Wayne getting away as well. Also, something, here, I'll end this off with this because it seems like we're coming at the end, but something I didn't mention in my video but I think is absolutely correct is that MamaMax blames the cops for every wrong step that he makes. He blames the
Yes.
cops the whole way through. And even in the IMVU video, he says that he sent a tip to the FBI about Casey, about what what he found after hacking her YouTube channel, and sent the files to the FBI of her apparently showing a video of where she was raped. But then he claimed that the FBI didn't do anything, the police didn't get back to him at all, but then suddenly deleted the accounts of Casey and deleted her YouTube channel as well, deleting any archive that had ever happened.
Yes, I remember.
He's full of shit. He already admitted that he lied, and also that the narratives are fake. So we already know that. But just on top of that, he's further perpetuating this narrative that the police are to blame for his own missteps. So he can have a scapegoat. And every time he makes a mistake, he has someone else to blame and throw under the bus. It was the police's fault. It wasn't mine. The police didn't do anything. It wasn't my fault with not getting this investigation done.
Well, the thing is, particularly with the Wayne case, I mean, there's a whole other thing where he blamed the police because Wayne only got probation for a crime he did commit before that's in the press. But he said it's the police's fault, and that's not the police's fault. That's the court that decides that, the judge and whatnot. But in any case, beyond that, you know, he claims that he sent the information from the Wayne investigations to the police and they didn't do anything. But the reality is his investigations are not done with the police in mind, right? Like, you know, if you look at like
we got to see if this keeps going and he ends up having like real, like honest conversations. He has to release what he's sending to these police officers, because I bet he's sending the most autistic messages possible. I mean, if you thought like the Wayne or Pablo Sonny FBI tips would look bad and look like a childish, imagine what he's saying with the Camden case. Yeah, dude, this werewolf god tricked a whole bunch of like apparently hundreds of minors into his cult and then raped them. Like the police are looking at this like, where do I begin? What the fuck is this? So we got to see what he's saying to these police officers, which, I mean, if he even is sending anything to the police, which is questionable in of itself. I mean, I guarantee they're writing it off for good reason, because he doesn't know how to present any kind of case. He's completely out of his depth with everything he does, because he's a filmmaker. That's all he is. He just wants to be a filmmaker who makes cool aesthetic YouTube videos.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's gotten too deep into this.
The other problem as well is you can get people prosecuted for messaging someone they believe to be a minor on the internet, even if they're not a minor. But the standard and the way it works is quite specific. Like, I believe you're not allowed to reach out to them. They have to reach out to you, right? I think there's like aspects around that. So I'd imagine that even the messages and investigations he has done, it's very possible that that is not going to be admissible in court because it's totally the wrong way of doing it, you know? So, you know, again, even if the police aren't doing something, it could be because it doesn't meet the standard required to meet their, you know, necessary tick boxes for it to meet the standard for prosecution.
And he's not handling these investigations. I used to watch. I'm not claiming to be knowledgeable at all about this, but like the little I've watched from fucking To Catch a Predator back in the day, like you have to handle these things in an ethical manner, or else the whole thing gets thrown out. And he is on camera admitting that he runs his investigations in illegal ways. He's a retard. He's a complete fucking retard. What is he doing? He doesn't handle his investigations in illegal ways at all, doesn't abide by the legal system, and then gets mad at the police for throwing out his cases, if he even does even report them.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, looking at it, when you strip away the theatrics, the charlatan shit, the snake oil bullshit, all you've really got that he's actually doing is messaging and sexting with predators to make them look stupid on the internet. And that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is just window dressing.
Sexting predators. Yeah, maybe that's the real intention there. Maybe that's the real goal that he wants to really get involved in. But yeah, no. I mean, that basically seems like it. Anything else necessarily you want to bring up or anything? Good call. Thank you for reacting. I mean, such a relief to get this video out. Fuck, it's been a long slog going through all of his content and everything. Now we got the Nick and Mudhar things to look forward to. Yeah,
I mean, to be honest with you, I think you did a great job. It was very entertaining whilst also being informative. There was even as much as I've looked into it, there was stuff that you presented to me that I wasn't aware of and clips I hadn't seen. So obviously that's a testament to your hard work, but also there's like loads of like stuff you could find with this guy if you were to spend like a long time looking at it, right?
No, I mean, what you were saying in one stream where it's absolutely right. Like you uncover a stone and find like all these little, like, I guess like insects you got to inspect. Like you find all this new information after uncovering this. And you know, going through all of his like 3 hour, 4 hour live streams that are Patreon only, there's so many clips. There's so many good clips of him that you know, show hypocrisies or whatnot like that.
Yeah, and I guess also I believe like there's now other people that are coming out with videos as well. Internet Anarchist was in chat earlier. I think they're thinking about maybe doing something, they said. Also, uh, yeah, you've got FPS Diesel, I think released a video pretty much the same time as you. So it seems like there's a lot of an appetite for you know, having a pop at this guy. So
No, it's great, and honestly, it's bizarre to see not even like where's the defense force? Where's the Mama
yeah.
Max defense force? Like I haven't seen it anywhere. Like there's no comments I'm getting defending this guy. Like if you remember back in the Pick a Side Team YouTube, dude, his fucking fan base was running rampant, calling
Yeah.
anyone who disagreed with his actions pedophiles. He has a loyal fucking fan base that will defend him to death, but I haven't seen them at all in this recent Camden case. It seems like all of them are disavowing his recent shit that have been so keen to defend him in the past.
I think one of the issues is this is probably the first time he's been as open to having harsh criticism on a live stream. And it's very easy to do a video where you're like, I'm a predator hunter and I'm going to catch the predators. But then when you've got like Xylee or Smaggle pressing him and he's got no response, he just looks fucking retarded, right? Like, you know, no disrespect to those two. They did a great job. But come on now.
Could you imagine being like Mama Max goes live? He's expecting like, you know, hopefully he gets a call from Critical, maybe like Ludwig, some of these bigger creators. You know, he's calling out Joe Rogan. Who does he get? Fucking Xylee and Smaggle. And me, my retarded ass to call in. Like this is a fucking joke.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also as well, another reason it's gone awry is, and I'm experiencing this with some of the responses to my Mutahar video, but, you know, if you aren't completely sucking the dick of a big creator, their fan base is going to turn against you somewhat. And obviously he went super hard for Moist Critical in a way that a lot of people found to be very egregious, with Moist Critical responding and saying, well, I had COVID, so I didn't respond. So I think his audience are kind of also going to be against it. And it kind of creates a system, I think, where people are like, you know, what's this guy doing? You know, he's going after someone else I like for no reason. So he's lost a lot of goodwill that way, I think, too.
No, but I think this is getting big enough where I think Critical might cover this. Like, you know, if like Nick videos start getting big traction, Mudahar's video is going to get a ton of traction. That might even crack 1 million. You know what I mean? Like, because this isn't just a normal Mudahar video sitting down for 10 minutes. He claimed he's like doing a whole investigation. He's doing research. So that could crack 1 million depending on what's going on here.
Yeah.
So Critical could cover this. This is really gonna fucking blow up in his face.
Well, yeah, and I guess the final thing I'd ask, I think this is the final thing, but like, you know, I don't know if you realized when you started doing this, but you've been like, I think, very instrumental to cracking this because you put a lot of pressure on him in those calls, which he kind of cracked under. And I think that started to get a lot of attention. How does it feel to be so instrumental to this whole drama cycle that's happening?
It feels fucking good. No, I don't know. It feels good. Granted, you know what I'm feeling or like what you're feeling for covering it early. Like, imagine I bet Tommy C's just pissed. He doesn't even feel vindicated. He's just fucking mad. Like,
well, from what I understand, I think that Tommy C has always looked at like Magnetar. More recently, it's gone, well, look at what happened to Magnetar. That's way worse than what happened to me, you know? But yeah, I don't think Tommy C is a particularly like narcissistic or egotistical person. So, you know, I think he just kind of feels like, I think he just feels a bit annoyed. He's like, why does no one listen to me when I say this stuff, you know? So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
but no, I'm really looking forward to seeing his responses. God, this is the drama that never ends. You know what I mean? What starts the year. This has been great.
Yeah,
but your coverage has been great. Appreciate you racking the video.
No worries.
Okay,
Thanks
that's
for going
wonderful.
on.
But how
Thanks
do
for
we
having me.
make money
Catch you
off
later.
depressed
Bye-bye.
people?
Oh, dude. I need to adequately suck myself off more because that video that I was looking at, is this the Moist Critical response or? Oh no, this is me responding to this video. Yeah, no, look, I'm responding to this one. I responded to this before this, because I watched this when he first released the cult video, but maybe that didn't become a YouTube video in the end then. So fuck, I covered this. When did he release that? I'm sure I reacted to it in the days after it was released. Chudception. It's probably lost to time now. But yeah, fucking hell. Just good to see that, you know, people are starting to see sense. So yeah. It's been a fun drama. I hope you've enjoyed it. There's still more to come. Obviously, we're in Act 3. We're deep into Act 3 now. The final chess pieces are in play. Nah, the problem is, you know, you always get other stuff that crops up and shit like that. But yeah, when was this?